Good morning, 1A, 1B, and 1C. Today you are going to be using Google Drawings through your Google Classroom to make images that show how sound is made. And you're going to be using different sound waves. So when you come into your Google Classroom, you're going to go ahead and click on where it says what makes sound, and you will open up a document that looks like this, and it will have your name on it. So it'll say what makes sound, and then it'll have your name. And the directions here on the side says use Google Drawings on the right to create at least 3 images of items that you know make sound. Use the shapes to create your items. Be sure to include sound waves from where the sound is coming from. Watch the video on your Google Classroom for more instructions. And that's what we're doing right now is we're watching this video. So you can pause this at any time if you need help, and you can go back to it whenever you need to. It says also add your name to the title. Feel free to change the background color, font, text, etc. to make it unique to you. So I went ahead and I started an example right here. So you see I put my name here. So it says What Makes Sound, and then by Megan Godek. And I changed my background color, and I already have 2 images that I used, and I put sound waves in here. So we're going to explore how to create these images. So the first thing that I did is I decided on my 3 images, and I decided on a trumpet, drums, and a phone. And I've already created my trumpet and my phone, so now I'm going to create my drums. So what I'll do is I will go into Insert, and I'm going to go to Insert an Image. And I'm going to go into my search box right here, and I'm going to search drums. And I'm going to click on search. And right here where it says any type, we're going to switch that to clip art. And we are going to find a drum set or just a drum that we think is one that we would like to use. So I'm going to use this one right here because I like the way this looks. So I'm going to click on it, and then I will hit select, and it will appear on my screen. Now, this is not going to be the actual drum set that I'm going to use because I'm just going to use this as something to help me while I'm doing my drawing. So what I'll do now is I will look to see which different shapes are used to create that drum. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to use that to create my own shapes. So I am going to come in here, and the first shape that I'm going to use is I'm going to look for something that looks like a cylinder. And I have a cylinder right here, and I can create my cylinder, and that kind of looks like my drum if it's on the side. So now I have my drum, and I'm going to rotate it. So do you see I use this circular button right here, and I rotated it. So now I have what looks like a drum. Now it's not going to be a perfect representation of this image. This is just to help us. So I'm going to go ahead and I might make it a little bit bigger. And I can change the color of that. Remember, we come in here and we do the fill color. And I'm going to have my drum be I'll do a red drum. And you see how the um, the top of my cylinder is a little bit lighter red. If I want to change the color of that, I'm actually going to have to create another circle. So I'm going to have to do, or another oval. So I'm going to go into my shapes again, and I'm going to find a circle, and I'm going to make an oval that will be able to fit right over that. And if you see the 2 blue lines, that's helping me, it's showing me that the image that I created is the same height as the oval for the drum. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to see if it'll fit right over that. And you see that it does. So now I can change the color of this. I can change the fill color of this, and I'm going to make that a beige color because that's typically the color of a drum. And now I'm going to go through and I'm going to create the lines across the drum, and I'm going to try to make it look as close to this drum as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this, And that's what you are going to be doing. And I'm then going to show you how to put all of the images together so they can move around at once, because right now if I move this, it doesn't move with this oval that I created. So I'm going to first create all my images to I'm going to put all my images, and then I'm going to show you how to make them one big image. So like right now I can move my trumpet around, even though that was different um, lots of different shapes put together. So I'm going to put that back, and now I'm going to start working on my drum. Okay, now boys and girls, you can see that I have created a mallet that will hit the drum as well, and then my sound is going to come out on the other side. So I'm going to make my sound waves last. I'm going to show you how to do that last because I'm going to move my drum over, but I want to show you how to connect everything. I'm going to show you how to do a couple things. The first thing is do you see how right now the mallet, the handle for the mallet goes behind the black part of the mallet? I can switch that if I want to. If I come up here and I go to arrange and I go to order, and I can bring it to the front, and now look what happens. Now it looks like it doesn't fit very well inside of the mallet. So I'm going to click it, and I'm going to then go back to arrange, and I'm going to say send to back. And that will then make it look a little bit better. So sometimes when you're creating things, um, you can order them in different ways, and so you can play with that a little bit when you are creating. Like for example, if I move this trumpet over, the sound waves go in front of it. But if I come here and I go to arrange and I go to order and I go to send to if I go to bring to front, the sound waves will then move behind it. But I'm going to go ahead and change both of those because I want to keep them in the same way. So now I'm going to show you how you can connect all of your shapes together. So if you click and select your shapes. So do you see how now this includes the rectangle and the circle that I used to make the mallet? It's going to select everything, and I'm going to come up here to arrange, and I'm going to go to group. And now I can move these together. Before, if I click and if I go to ungroup, before it would just move on its own. So we want to make sure that our items are grouped together. So again, we're going to click and drag around our items, and we're going to go to arrange and go to group. I'm going to do that with the drum as well. So I want to click here, and I'm going to select my drum, and I'm going to unselect it because this word, the drum, is actually too close. So I'm going to move this up a little bit so it's not included in my selection. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to select everything by clicking it. I'm going to go to arrange, and I'm going to go to group. So now I can actually move my mallet over a little bit, and I can move my drum over a little bit too. So now I have those two that are right next to each other, and I can now move my words. Now, in order to make some images, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, now that you've created your drum, you can go ahead and you can select your image and you can delete it. And you don't need to use an image if you know how to make the actual shape. That's fine too. Some of you like to use the line tool to make different shapes. So if I make a line and I want to put it all together, I can't actually fill that. So when I'm going to show you a line tool that you can use to make different shapes. If you come up here to your lines and you go to the polyline, look what happens. If I click and I'm just making my corners, I can make any shape I want to, and as long as they are connected back to each other, and now I have a shape that I can change my fill colors in. So look what I can do. I can change this and I can maybe make it orange, or I can make it pink, whatever I want to do, I can change that around. That's just for those of you who like using the line tools to build your own shapes. That's going to be your polyline right here. Now, the line that we're going to use in order to make these sound waves is going to be the curve line right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to start making some sound waves. So we're going to click and we'll just go up and down to make these sound waves. And we're going to just do some sound waves that go back and forth for a while. We'll make some longer than others, and we can have some shorter. We can have them go all different lengths. And what you can do is when you decide that you're happy with the number of sound waves you have, you can double click and now you have sound waves. What we're going to do is you're going to come back up here to your select tool to go back to an arrow, and we are going to do Command C to copy that, and then we're going to do Command V to make another one. And look what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait to see what I have. I'm going to make sure that I have my red lines that are telling me that it's right next to each other, and I'm going to move my sound wave. And then I'm going to make another one, and I can make 3 different sound waves here. And now I'm going to select all of my sound waves to group them together. So I'm going to come back up here, I'm going to do arrange, and I'm going to go to group. Now I can actually make my sound waves a little bit smaller, or I could make them bigger if I wanted to. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make them just a little bit smaller so they fit on the page. And now I can go to my line tools and I can actually make it a little bit thicker so we can see it easily. So now you can see that I have 3 different items. I have my trumpet, I have my phone, and I have my drums that are showing sound waves coming from them. So please make sure that when you are creating your images, you're using images that are different than the 3 that I used. And I want you to be creative about it. Think about what makes sound and what you learned in Colab and in science, and you can go ahead and create your images. Good luck, and I can't wait to see what you have created.